Dude, I like Vic already. This is great.
Everyone can hear you.
We live?
Oh, we're back.
Go ahead, Nick. Take her away, man.
Are we live? For real?
Oh, we're back. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. All right. So this is Dynasty Nerds Film Nerds Edition. Hold on. I need to mute this.
Oh, great intro.
There we go.
So smooth.
Well, hey, man, I had the volume on. Anyways, the purpose of this is we're not looking at highlight tapes. We're looking at the real film, all 22. We put a lot of time in. We each watch 2 games. We have a new person. I'll let Garrett intro Vic. But we're looking at positives and negatives and how that's going to correlate to NFL success, fantasy football success. And if it's a weakness, we also can talk about whether it's going to improve, whether they can get there or they're not going to get there. So we'll start off with JWAC, who does so much work behind the scenes, doesn't get enough credit for it. So I'm already going to start praising him. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Today was a day. 2 under 2 is no joke. The girls were just screaming all day while I'm trying to work, but here we are. This is the release. Get to hang out with you boys and watch some tape, so I'm excited.
Were you rocking the girl dad shirt?
No, what was I rocking? I was rocking the SFB Podathon shirt, but then I switched to this SFBX shirt.
I like the girl dad shirt. That's a good one, man.
Yeah, it is.
Garrett, how you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing good. Tonight, I'm normally in the same boat as JWAC, only mine are a little bit older. But I mean, half the time I'm having to like mute calls because you hear girls in the background screaming for who knows what reason. It might be happy, might be mad. We don't know. But tonight, the girls are at my mom's place, and so I've been free. I've been able to do whatever I want. I was watching a little baseball. I don't even watch that much baseball, but I could, so I did. I was playing some PS4 for a little bit. Hopped on here. It is a good night.
We haven't even talked about this. I don't even know where Garrett and Jared are. I know you guys are Ohio. I'm a Cubs fan. Are you guys a little mad that my Cubs have been taking it to Cleveland recently? They got the best record in baseball, the World Series win.
I don't care.
I'm still bitter about that rain delay. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, we needed it. We needed to like refocus.
Need that rain delay.
Chapman came back and he delivered.
Because we had all the hype, man. We had all the hype.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about baseball as much as I love my tribe. Tonight we have a special guest. He is now doing stuff with the Dynasty Nerds. So this isn't just like who's this guy? We've never heard of him before. No, he's part of the Dynasty Nerds family now. But he also has his own show called Dynasty Bros. Right? Am I getting that right, Vic?
It's all right. You got it.
All right. I was on it a few weeks ago. It was a great time. Vic, welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, appreciate the invite. So I go by Dynasty Bro Vic. My handle is Chief Sosa FF. So I have a podcast, Dynasty Bros. We've been rocking with that for about a year. And I'm excited. Definitely love the fantasy football community. I basically got a lot of content out there and got some articles. So you can find some articles on the Dynasty Nerd site. But from a week-to-week basis, you can find me hanging out with the Dynasty Bros.
Love it. Now, we brought you on this episode specifically because you have a little bit of background with wide receivers, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's a unique background, but yes, I do.
That's what I like to hear. So we'll be looking to you with some of your insights on some of these players and some of the things that you see that you like, some of the things that you don't like, concerns about the next level, things that you think that they could improve on. I'm excited to hear some of your takes. Jared, got anything else for us before we kick off the film, man? Yeah,
so tonight we're watching 2021 prospects. We got Sage Surratt from Wake Forest. It looks like the ACC's gonna play. That's what they're saying right now. Mm-hmm. And then we got Amon-Ra St. Brown from USC. And the Pac-12 has said that they're not going to play. We'll see how that plays out. I'm still giving it a week, with these other conferences, sticking to saying that they're playing. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the Big Ten's like, all right, we changed our mind. We got some other advice and, blah, blah, blah.
Ryan Day's still trying to make it happen at Ohio State. I know that.
Yeah, or it goes the other way and the other conferences pull
Bringing
out.
It strong versus Harbaugh.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Surratt is a guy that was pacing all Power 5 receivers last year while he was healthy. He was able to play through 9 games until he went out for the season with a shoulder injury. Through those 9 games, he had 1,001 receiving yards, totaling 11 touchdowns on 66 catches. So he was leading all Power 5 receivers in receiving at that point in time. So he's definitely a baller. We'll see what the tape looks like, though. Was it just a competition? Let's take a look. You guys want to get into it?
Let's do it.
Always, man.
I think I put Garrett up first this week. So
It's probably because I actually got my stuff in first for once.
yeah, and I think I have him in order for you.
Nice. All right. We'll let it play through once here.
I have a quick question before we start in this. What is his size?
He
Sage?
is Sage Surratt. Hold up.
6'3", right? 6'3", 215.
215. Yep.
He seemed a little smaller on tape. Did you guys get that feel? Like
I
I thought he was
highlighted-
going to be bigger.
I highlighted the wrong guy on this play.
I was going to say,
Yeah, he's in the slot. Let me circle it on the screen here. My bad.
you're good.
Starting off with a banger.
That's right.
Yeah, he didn't look small to me. I felt the size was good, so prototypical size.
So what'd you see here, Garrett?
It's either that or he had like smaller legs to me. Maybe a bigger torso. Maybe I'm wrong. Like that Kevin White.
All right. So yeah, run this back from the start here. So one of the things that I am a little bit concerned about with Sage Surratt is he's not the most explosive athlete. We're looking at some of these wide receivers, and we'll see it when we look at St. Brown. St. Brown is an explosive player. Now, given the body size, the type and whatnot, we're not expecting him to run a 4.4 flat or anything like that. He does have some skill sets in other areas, but I'm one of my concerns is he's not an explosive athlete. So run this play through. And as I'm watching this specific play here, one of the things that I was a little concerned with here was that he just wasn't able to get off of the defensive back. And we're talking about a slot corner. So this is somebody that, a player of his caliber should be able to manhandle a little bit better. Wasn't able to get off, kind of lost track of the football on a play that I think he actually had a shot to make if he was able to release, which he never was able to. And the other thing is there was a point where he actually had a little bit of a step, but he never actually stacked. And I think he might have been able to make the play had he done that here.
Mm-hmm. I had something similar in one of my plays, Garrett, too. Is that I don't know if it's laziness or he just can't get there, but the stack was close. It's like get there, right, and then you have full control of the play.
Right.
All right, moving on. Got him at the top of the screen here. Got him circled correctly this time. Safeties are down. We got press corners.
Inside shade.
I seen him run this play a few times on the cut-ups you guys sent me.
Yep. So this was actually a pretty decent move here. He got the DB to bite. So for him not being very fluid overall, he does seem to run decent routes at times for a bigger player. But once again, you got to come down with this football. Like, this was a well-thrown ball that really was right in his breadbasket, and he allowed the DB to rip it away. If you're a 6'3", 215 wide receiver, DB should not be ripping the ball away from you. Mm-hmm. And there's enough of those types of things that just make me a little bit concerned. Now, there's some positives. I know I started off with 2 negatives in a row. There are definitely some things that I do see that I like, that I think you can work with. But these are the types of things that keep me from saying that he could be, a legitimate day 2 pick. I'm worried about that for him.
Mm-hmm.
If he stacks,
he does step on his toes.
If he stacks here, that DB's not making that play.
Nope. Step on his toes. That's going to slow the DB down, get more separation.
Yeah.
One thing from watching tape, 2 games of them, man, that read option they have is it's crazy how
hey,
deep
isn't it crazy?
They read that?
Yeah,
I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Did you get to watch Kenneth Walker at all? They're running. Well, obviously you did. I like him a lot.
He's pretty explosive
for a true freshman. Mm-hmm. He's good.
Yeah, I was like, man, Jamie Newman, like they just like he's basically like
so
through
slow.
the line of scrimmage before they pull it out.
I know it's crazy.
I'd be frustrated as a running back running that because I'm waiting and waiting and waiting.
No rhythm.
Oh, that'd be tough.
It
Kills
seems
the play.
To work. Seems to work for him though.
Not well enough. Now this was a play that I really liked. Now, not a great route. I'm not going to compliment the route, but here's what I did like about this: two defensive backs, and then breaking a tackle, and he actually showed enough wheels there to be able to get to the corner. Like I said, not a bursty player, not a great athlete, but this shows me that there's at least enough there that he can use his size, he can use his strength, he can catch the ball between two defenders. I would have liked to see more of a hands catch than a body catch there, but overall, that was something that I saw. I was like, you know what? That was a pretty good play, Sage.
Yeah.
We should talk about how bad the read is. Sorry, Vic. How bad of a read is this? Look at the bubble wide open.
I know. I mean, the DN's kind of like, was it a blitzing safety or linebacker out there? So right. I think he
just like throw the bubble.
I only had one game of Jamie Newman because the other one there was a backup. I wasn't a big fan.
I like him from what I've seen.
I mean, not as big of a fan.
I think he fits
right
Georgia's scheme pretty well with Todd Monken there.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Vic? Sorry, I talked over you.
Yeah, so at least one of the question marks I had with him was physicality. So like right here, I like to see him throw a stiff arm, instead of just letting the guy kind of lay into him. So given his size, definitely want him to leverage his body size and be a little bit more physical there going into the end zone. So just to really secure it.
The one thing I want to note, if you go back a little bit further here, J-Wack, I like how, I mean, this is just messy. He's running through traffic, but he found a way, because some guys, they'll just kind of just, okay, I'll allow myself to get tackled. And he didn't. I mean, right here, he avoids, who's this number 3 here, and then switches arms because it's left arm right here. And then has the,
You do love that.
Hey, it's a big thing for me. I mean, it allows for the stiff arm. Switches right there. Kept his momentum. Like, I mean, that part right there is my favorite part of the play. I mean, he gets through the mess.
Yeah. Phil said, lay off the reserve. No reserve for me tonight. It's been a while.
I'm empty now, Phil. I was there.
Go fill up.
Honey Jack, not reserve. But either way.
All right, here we go. We're switching over to Virginia Tech now. Or sorry, we just watched Virginia Tech. Florida State. Switching over to Florida State. Let this first one run.
Be nice to my boy, Garrett.
Sorry, Willie.
How about this ball, though?
Yeah, this is the backup, too.
That's a better ball.
Yeah, it's, what's his name from QB1?
Was that him?
Sam Hartman, yeah.
Okay. He actually didn't look half bad in this game.
No, he's pretty good.
Yeah. So, once again, doesn't stack, but he shows enough separation. So, even though he's not quick, I don't think he has a lot of quick twitch to him. I think his long strides are going to be enough to get him in the upper 4.5 range. I don't think we're going to see 4.4s or even low 4.5s, but mid to upper 4.5s I think are realistic. And these over-the-shoulder catches are tough. And I think that's a real good catch, got enough separation. I would have loved to see him stay in bounds, though. That's something that changes from a 30-yard gain to 6 points. So I would have loved to see him stay in bounds, but good soft hands there. Vic, Nick, any thoughts?
Yeah, at least right there. I mean, that was also another thing with me. There was a lot of running out of bounds instead of looking to create. So, at least with these early mocks, of course it's early, but they got them late first round as of right now. But if a guy's going that high, you got to look to create at all times. So,
see, right now he looks more like a third round guy to me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, good. Day 2.
Todd McShay mocked him in the first round today in his way too early mock draft.
Yep.
Well, our boy Matt Miller, he mocked him. He mocked Donovan's Peoples-Jones in the first last year too. So
exactly.
I mean,
I'd say he's third, fourth. Is where I'd have him.
Clickbait.
Sure, I have no problem with that.
Nick, do you have anything to add on that last one?
No, the only thing we didn't talk about is I thought he tracked the ball well. Because that was such a good ball. But I mean, he had to track that early and then go over his outside shoulder. So
yeah, they love running these hitch and goes. There's stop and goes.
Yep.
That's
Once again, a little bit of both here. That was a nice little hitch to get open, but you can see there's just not quite the explosiveness the way other people would have housed that. But a nice little subtle movement to his route to be able to get open. So I actually think he's a decent route runner for a big guy, but I don't know. I didn't see a lot of the incredible contested catches. Now, I don't know what you guys saw in your games, but that's one thing from a guy this kind of size where I want to see him be able to do some of that kind of stuff where he's going up over defensive backs. I didn't see a ton of that.
Nah.
I just want to say, what a play call. I mean, that's a corner blitz. They're rotating down, and then he pitches. That's just like terrible for the safety. How does he read?
That's so tough.
You know?
Yeah.
How does he adjust to
he
that?
whiffed.
That's
Great play call.
yeah. I mean, because his angle coming down, like he couldn't get over the top of it, or at least when it's a double move, I teach my DBs, you have to hit him. You know what I mean? And then you can, get your momentum back. But he's in no man's land. So.
Yeah. Can you run it back a little bit?
Yeah. Other angle, this angle?
Yeah, right there. So, I mean, I noticed that's been a theme. Like, that's his go-to move to create separation, that little stutter. So I'm sure everybody that's watching, you'll see that to be a consistent theme with him, just throwing the hips and breaking out. And that's his best, trick to get open. So.
And to quote you, Vic, I mean, right here, you're 6'3", 215, right? We guessed. You have to deliver with that stiff arm. This is one even just slight stiff arm. Touchdown. You know what I mean? Missed. Yep. Got 1 foot.
And that's a diving corner. He didn't even have his legs with him.
I mean, that's no touchdown because of that.
Yeah, you got to punch down, really. So the stiff arm was just bad placement.
Yeah. Or even kind of jump. Get your feet up. I've seen, guys do that.
Yeah.
Nick, you got a question in the chat from Phil. He said, Nick, switching the ball to the outside is also about potential loose balls going out of bounds instead of to the field. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's part of it. And plus, I mean, if you think of the odds of getting hit, the odds are there's going to be 11 guys, or at least 10 guys probably to the inside. So you want to reduce your chances of getting hit with that inside. But then also, as Vic had said, it gives you the stiff arm. If you fumble, it goes out of bounds. Everything benefits you having it in the outside arm. The only negative is that switching could cause some people to fumble. You hope not, but that's the only negative.
Yeah.
And you have to time it out. I mean, you do it in traffic, you could get it knocked away, but I mean, that's a gamble.
All right, we got Sage here at the bottom. Again. Dude, I'm telling you, I saw, you guys sent me these cut-ups, and I swear I saw that, same route 5 times.
Yep.
Whose is this one? Because I don't think this is me anymore.
It might be Nick. I think it's Nick.
Oh, this is me. Well, I mean, it's whatever.
Same play. Yep.
The one thing that I didn't really like about this is he didn't convince anybody that hitch was going to happen. You know what I mean? It's a little bit, and that's okay. And then here he gets, again, being 6'3", 215, he got pushed to the sideline. I mean, he readjusted inside, but I mean, man, you're big and physical. You know what I mean? I mean, get away from this DB. Either you're going to go inside, or if it's MOR, you know what I mean? And lean into the corner, as Jared and me have talked about before. Give your quarterback more room on the outside. Right here, he gets pushed from about a yard outside the numbers to about a yard to the sideline.
Yeah.
You need to keep that more inside.
Now, Vic, let me ask you your opinion on this one here. Was it worthwhile to fake the hitch where he did, or would it have made more sense to press the safety a little bit more there with the hitch, and then he would have had more time to get past him? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would like to see him sell the hitch, but his problem there is if you got it right there, he's standing too tall. So he plays tall. If he sinks his hips, that'll sell a little bit more, at least from a DB's perspective, and then you can get back upfield. So to me, he just didn't sink his hips, and he's playing tall. So that made that break, tough to get out of.
I mean, one other thing too, and I don't know where you stand on this, Vic, is I would have liked him to attack maybe inside shoulder, be the inside part of those numbers, have the corner come inside, then it gives you all this outside room.
Yeah. Yep. You got to sell it. So.
Good job of Justin coming back, making a catch at least.
Yep. Yeah, that's that tracking, body control. Again, didn't really, kind of catches it here. You know what I mean?
It
was a bit of a body catch.
If he attacks the ball, he might be able to do something after the catch here. But tough to. He had to stop on the dime.
And sometimes I wonder if that's like a mentality with him, if he's just like he's kind of a catch and fall guy mentally.
Yeah, or
versus,
just athleticism, Maybe he just doesn't have the ability to stop, come back, make a move,
But he'll flash too, so that's where the inconsistency comes in. So
yeah.
This was. I'm just gonna say, if you're gonna be this first round or a good prospect guy, you got to get in. This is against Elon, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
Come on,
That's
come on,
right.
man. Right here. It's a little guy.
Dude, I almost went to play at Elon.
Oh,
Did you really?
Yeah. My best friend went there for a semester. We were going to go together.
I mean, I know he kind of avoids the one, but I mean, this is an FCS school. You're this great receiver, find a way to get by this. I mean, if you're a top prospect, if that's Rondale Moore, that's a touchdown.
Sure.
If that's any other top prospect, that's a touchdown. To me, this just says he's not a great guy. I mean, I know I'm asking for him to, break a tackle, but you need to break a tackle.
We got a question in the chat. What's up, guys? There's Amir asks, what's the best trait, attribute a wide receiver can have to be NFL ready coming out of college?
Ooh, that's loaded.
That is loaded.
For me, I mean, it's all about mentality. I mean, you got Sage here. He kind of, he's playing like a possession receiver, but giving you 6'3", 215, you would like him to just know, like, hey, you're this big body, leverage that play to that size. So to me, it's all about mentality. And you can just look at guys' demeanors when they're lining up. You can just kind of tell, if they're excited for the play or if they're just going through the motion. So it's all about mentality for me, especially being a playmaker.
You could always see that with CD Lamb, watching him this past year. He just had that mentality every play.
That Texas game. Oh, that Texas game.
Sexy.
Such a sexy.
Nick,
for me,
Garrett, what would you guys say?
For me, it's not as much about a singular trait as it is like, how do they win? Like, where do they have the one up on everybody else? So whether that's, the ability to be able to create separation, whether that's, I can go up and get the ball better than anybody else. Like, I want to see a trait that I'm like, oh, that is above average compared to what we see from a lot of other players. And I think that's kind of where I fall in with Sage. Was there wasn't any specific thing where I'm like, this is how he will win at the next level. And I think that's why I have some concerns as of now. And that's the tragedy of potentially not having the season. He has an opportunity to improve on this. Like, he could have gotten a lot better in the offseason, and we won't know. And that's going to be the difficult part.
Mm-hmm. Yep, no, I'm with you. So my I guess best trait would be, I mean, if you look at like number 7 down here on the screen, right? So this corner is inside shade by a full man. He's not even splitting the difference, So he's got to have a plan. How am I going to attack this corner with this shade to win? And that's press coverage. That's zone. That's everything. I really look for receivers that have, we talk about this, this toolbox, multiple ways to win, but having the knowledge and a plan of, hey, this is how I'm going to win versus this DB versus this safety versus I'm just going to run my route. That's a big difference between being advanced and I think being a novice.
Yeah, that's true. Because some guys are just running the routes without even thinking about, okay, let me lean this guy inside so I can break to the outside with the corner. So, yeah.
I mean, we'll see with Amon-Ra St. Brown. He settles down in zones. He understands things a lot more than Sage does.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he needs 100% get in here. 6'3", 215 against Elon.
Yep.
Slot here. So Sage needs 10 more career touchdowns to be to tie Ricky Proehl's school record.
Ricky Proehl. St. Louis Ram, man.
St. Louis.
Yep, there you go.
Vic, you might not know this, but Nick has this thing where he comps every player almost to some sort of Ram. So anytime he hears a Ram, he's excited.
Is this a Kevin Curtis comp?
So, yeah, Kevin Curtis. So what I loved about this route was, I mean, so he avoids right here, but look how flat he gets to get separation. If he would have went to the back pylon, that corner would have a better chance. Man, when he came flat, that's just so much separation, give the quarterback more room. I just really loved the route here. And again, awareness, got his feet down, caught the ball, body control. But man, that route I thought was really nice.
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah. He's good in the red zone.
Good awareness with his feet, too. Did he actually get 2 in?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, nice play. Good hands.
So he catches this. I thought the route took way too many steps to decelerate and get out of that kind of a deeper hitch, really. And then he jumps. What are you jumping for? That takes away opportunity after the reception. Yep. See, look at all this like extra. I mean, I don't think he has to jump here.
Yeah. And he's sitting down in the route, too, as he's throttling down. If you go back, it looked like he's taking a seat in a chair. So he's killing all of his own momentum.
Yep. And then that prevents any yak out of it. And to me, that's just
taking a seat.
Yep. It's a lot of negative right there.
As a DB, you're going to break on that.
Yeah. And look at him break. That DB made a heck of a play. Because it's easy to drive on that when you know that he can't go forward again.
Elon.
I will say,
exactly,
with getting hit like that, that was a good way to hold on to the football, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw any drops in my games. Did you guys see any drops?
Yeah, I had some drops.
There's a few in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he has great hands. I see him body catching a lot, and there are some drops
I know
that
for
we'll
sure.
get to. Yeah. Top of the screen here. I think this is one right here. I think you had one drop in yours, Garrett. Maybe not.
So
it was one he could have got to, but
yeah,
the DB ripped it away.
There's that hitch and go. But to me, he jumps and then just bodies. Go attack that football.
Shoot.
You were talking about Garrett. How do you win? This is how he could win. But and we were talking. I'm arguing. We'll just say JJ Arcega-Whiteside last week.
Yeah,
but he attacks the football in the air.
He does.
That's how he wins.
Don't start again.
Sage could do it here, and he doesn't.
He's agreeing with me here, so we're okay.
Yeah, well, I'm agreeing with him. Sage could do it here, and he doesn't. And that's why he doesn't catch the football, and that's why he's not, in my opinion, a great prospect.
Yeah,
a little underthrown, but still, you need to make this catch if you're a first-round receiver.
Vic, tell me this: for wide receivers, we're talking about him being more of a body catcher, and we've seen a lot of other talented players that were more body catchers than they were hands catchers. How difficult is it to, if you're naturally more of a body catcher, to kind of converting to being, a guy that can really pluck the ball?
Yeah, it's one of those, either you got it or you don't. I mean, you can train, but it really goes back to your mentality. So, I would expect him with that size to go up and get it with his hands out instead of going up with upside down raptor arms. So, yeah, he does look like he's trying to attack the ball like this.
Upside down raptor arms. I've never heard that. That's great.
You got to go get it. So.
Oh man.
And I mean, because a lot of that's reaction, right? And confidence, and you can practice doing spin moves, but if you're in there and it's in the game and you don't do it, well, it's just practice. You got to do it.
So it's hard to break those bad habits. I mean, if he's gotten through high school and college doing that, I mean, if it worked this far, so it's kind of hard to break that habit.
I'd like to quote you on that, Vic, with a lot of the running backs that I don't like, but hey, this is a wide receiver podcast. You guys know who I'm talking about.
You always call this a podcast. This isn't a podcast.
What do you call it? A video cast?
A stream.
Stream.
A river.
A show.
Does it lead into a lake?
I mean, we don't put this on. This isn't a podcast, so it's not an audio form.
No, this would be a terrible podcast. You never get to see the play.
That's true.
No, I mean,
every time you think about that,
every time Nick texts about the show, he's like, the podcast. It's not a podcast.
Dude, Sam's yelling at me on the chat. Sam, it's a live stream. Okay, I got it now. We'll see if I can take the teachable moment here and not say it again.
I don't.
Probably your biggest mistake.
I just love giving you a hard time. So selfish.
By the way, Nick, I was so upset that you took Jacob Copeland. I was about to take him there, and I was like, I don't think that many people are on him. I might be able to wait a little longer.
I think he was my 5th or 6th ranked wide receiver going into last year, and I was like,
he's good.
No one's talking. Yeah,
he's good.
I put out a tweet about him a little while back. And,
great block here to open this up.
So
wide receivers blocking creates big plays.
Yeah, this is a 2-for-1. We would call it. Because it's man coverage. He goes and gets that safety. That corner's already going to come in on him. So he created this entire lane for Jamie Newman. Love it. And that's effort. That's toughness. That's exactly what you want to see to get on the field. If he's not doing other things right, if you do this right, you're going to get on the field.
Yep. Good play. That's what you'd expect for him, 6'3", 215, throwing around safeties, DBs. This is a nice freaking play.
I don't like the release. I don't like the route, but he found a way to win. I'll give him that with one arm.
One-handed catch, yeah.
Yeah,
they never even threw the flag, did they?
No, they did. They threw the flag.
Oh, okay.
It came in at the end there.
Mm-hmm. And just because if we go slow right here, what I don't like is, I always talk about this two-way go, him stepping inside here, look at how much the corner believes this. Not at all.
Well, he had already been shifting his weight. Like his whole body was going the other direction when he stepped out.
At least fake a slant, go hard inside, get something. Nothing. That's not going to work in the NFL.
Yeah, especially being tall. A DB is just going to follow your shoulders because, it's an easy read right there.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdown.
But one arm.
It's an impressive catch.
For sure. Good play. So, I think, are we on to Fix here?
Yeah, it looks like it. Louisville.
Yeah.
All right.
And he even says it right. All right, Vic.
Hey,
I like it.
I'm actually up the street, so yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, so this one here, I definitely would like to see some more physicality there, at least getting off the route. So he's playing too tall. That's like one of my concerns throughout the whole session. So if you look, DB gets one arm on him, then gets a second arm on him, so he switches. That's because he's playing too tall. So I would like to see him drop his hips at the top of the route, because if he drop his hips right there, that DB may think he's going on a go route, and then he can burst to break back to the ball on the hitch. So, but since he's playing too tall, DB's able to ride him.
Yeah, it makes it a much easier read.
Yeah, but ultimately, he should have caught the ball. It did hit his hands, so that's the rule. If it hits your hands, you got to catch it. But
definitely. Nick, you got anything to add here? Obviously, he needs to get his hands off, like Vic said.
Yeah. Again, doesn't fake inside. You know what I mean? You always have to make it a two-way go on your release, always.
Well, and you can tell his lack of burst there too, because the DB wasn't concerned about the go at all, like not at all. And granted, it's press coverage, but you could tell he was never threatened. He never opened up. He never wasn't concerned.
Yeah. All right, this one here, this was a lazy route. So if you look, he's just kind of out there in space, and then the ball is in the area of two players, but he doesn't even attack it. So if it's in the neighborhood, go get it, but he left it for his guy there. So I scored that one in negative, just giving it as a lazy route. He's playing tall again, and then he didn't even try to attack the ball.
Mm-hmm. Nick is going to love you, man. Starting off with two negatives.
Yep. And I always teach my receivers to throw that inside elbow, because when you do that, it helps you turn quicker and your hands are up here. It's just he slowly turns too. The one thing I did notice with them, and I don't know if you guys did or not, but I remember Baylor back in the day when they had, KD Cannon and, Kendall Wright, all that great team.
Gordon,
for 1 year. Only half the receivers would run the routes. Another half would just kind of be like lazy. I kind of saw that a little bit with Wake Forest. Did you guys see that too?
Yeah, you could tell who's getting the ball.
Yeah, it's kind of like by design. Like, hey, you guys don't really have to run hard. We're automatically going to go here. So I don't know if that's what that was or not. I don't know. But.
Yeah. All right, this play here was a negative, turned into a positive because he scored. So let's start with the negative. So if you go back. So, of course, Garrett, you mentioned it all the time, late hands, and also with a wide receiver, you don't have late eyes. But he's running his route, and then about 5 yards in, he's looking back. He's looking back way too early. So for the next 5-6 yards, he's looking back into the end zone.
Yeah.
So he's giving it away. So that's easy for someone to come down and crash on that if the safety's playing over, if there's safety help or even an outside linebacker. But, just given, he did score, so that's the positive. But if you're running a route and looking at it while you're running, I mean, you kind of got a lot going on right there. So,
and honestly, he's lucky that didn't get picked off like that. That's something that would be on him there.
Yeah.
And you're slower when you turn and you're running versus running straight. So,
yep. All right, let's see here.
Bottom of the screen.
This one here, I mean, he just gets bumped off the route. So I just want him to be more physical. Like he's basically, if the ball was to come to him, gave the QB no room to work with.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate that. Man, especially a guy like him, like that should never happen. Like, why are you already on the tightrope?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I get mad whenever a DB would get their hands on my receiver's chest. Like that's a no. You know what I mean? You grab wrists and you pull.
And their DBs don't look big. Louisville DBs look, 5'10", 5'11", but for me, this goes back to how he started. He started off the game not being physical. So, of course, when you start the game, everyone has butterflies and they're anxious, excited, all that good stuff. But you got to start fast, set the tone.
Mm-hmm. It's a war, man. You got to be battling.
This one here, I think, was a drop. No, okay, yeah, this is the one over the middle. Okay, yeah, so, good hands there. But, of course, he can't create any separation, so he's tackled right there at the spot of the ball, so where he caught it. For me, he's playing like a possession receiver, just a oversized possession guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Nice and flat. I like that at least. I mean, if he came upfield, that DB might have made a play, but here he came pretty flat across.
It's not selling anything. He could have gave a little stem.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say the route, the top here.
It's not crisp.
Yeah,
it's rounded.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like a speed in, really.
Yeah.
Gosh, I like Vic on here. He uses the same stuff I say. I love it. This is going to be awesome.
And he actually had a big stat line game. Like, he had 12 catches, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, but it was more, negatives than positives for me on this one.
It is a little bit of a weird anomaly with him because he had a really good season.
He had 4 games of 150 yards or more. So a lot of his yards in those. And
against some
games.
Decent teams, like Virginia Tech usually has solid secondary pieces.
Well, I think there's a big difference, too, between being successful against college teams and what we're wanting to be successful for the NFL and fantasy football. The very big difference. That's why there's guys that run for a lot of yards in college.
Sure.
They're not going to do it in the NFL. There's a big differential.
Yeah, so right here, he drops the ball. I mean, it hits his hands. I like to see him leave the ground, jump, go up and get it, high point it. But
he doesn't get it at all.
I probably put a quarter under his foot. So it's not really jumping. A roll of nickels, whatever you want to put under there.
It does look like he's getting wrapped a little bit there. I wonder if that prevented him from getting up some.
Yeah.
That left arm kind of had him by the hip there, but still, if you're a big physical player, that shouldn't make that much of a difference.
And what would have helped there, even if he tried to stack the DB there. So if he tried to stack, that would slow him down. So
it's interesting. We're going to get to St. Brown in a second, but there were tons of really good things for him. But St. Brown didn't like to stack much either. I noticed that with him. So it was something that was kind of a trend with both of these guys.
Mm-hmm. He's the more crafty. The only thing I'll say on that last play as well is you like to see him turn his shoulders and get square back to the football. If you're going to come back and high point it, I mean, kind of fading and kind of jumping and leaning, like that's a really low risk, a low rate of catching that football, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, this is the last play on this one. So, of course, big play, scored a touchdown. I only saw one separation move. So if you notice, you're going to throw a stutter, like he's running a hitch, and then creates a little bit of room, and he can get down the field. So I don't see anything else in his arsenal to create separation.
He's right by the sideline, too.
One-trick pony to get open.
He doesn't even step inside on the release. Just goes right outside. Push the sideline. It's a good ball, really.
Yeah.
It is a good ball.
But good play. I mean, he still made the catch, but, I mean, I just don't see how that's going to fly on Sundays.
Mm-mm.
Yep, I'm with you.
Boys, I'm going to run the restroom real quick. You guys each go through, projections, maybe give a comp if you guys have them, and we'll get into St. Brown when I get back.
Well, one thing I was wondering, and we can do that, I think, with both at the end, since we have a little bit of time. Vic, do you want to tell people a little bit about your background to get to know you a little bit?
Yeah, so so I played wide receiver Division III. So earlier on, I mentioned I had a unique background. So I actually played as a backup wide receiver through high school and even got recruited as a backup wide receiver in terms of that's just where I landed. So basically my entire career was a reserve wide receiver, but playing D3, of course, having that experience definitely was a good time for me. So I actually started playing football my sophomore year in high school as far as wide receiver. And I started out in 8th grade as a DN, but took the freshman year off, so I only count sophomore year going forward. So DePaul in Greencastle, Indiana. So I know you got 2 DePauls, one in Chicago, but one in Indiana.
Okay. What kind of offense did you guys run in college then?
Yeah, we ran a spread.
Okay. All right. Were you guys concept based or were you number based?
We were numbers based. You had to think back. It's been a while.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So like if it's a number, then it's option routes, right? You would adjust based on the coverage then?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's fun, man. That's cool. Did you like the slot or outside more? I can't tell how tall you are.
So I'm actually a little bit under 6'3". So actually I played X and then some slot. So like Y whenever the tight end would come out, right? And a wide receiver for that spot. So.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. So that's really nice to have you on here to hear that insight. You know what I mean? Because the little nuances that's the difference between being a guy that like you talk about in a mock draft now. And they actually are going to make it happen. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of small things with a receiver.
Yeah, and again, this Louisville game, he had 12 catches, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, but a lot of negatives. So you can't just run the stats. You got to grind the tape.
Well, and that's the whole purpose of this show. That's why we do this. Is there's a lot of guys that get hype with their name, and people start drafting them in their Devy leagues or their rookie leagues for Dynasty, and there's certain guys that were like, look. Maybe things will work out, but based on what we're seeing right now, this player does not translate. And sometimes people don't like that. They don't like us being a little harsh and negative at times, but it's good to have somebody like you with that kind of insight. Nick, go ahead. You're about to say something else.
Well, just to that, I mean, because I had coached college and high school. Vic, you played, Garret played, Jarrett played. Like negative, that's just a part of it. You know what I mean? Coach always trying to get you better. Like all you hear basically is negative, Sure. You have to watch your good plays to even feel good about it. And that's just to get better. I mean, that's all it is.
Oh man. In any locker room, your bad play gets replayed at least 4 times in front of the entire team. Your good play, they're like, hey, good play. And they just keep going. Like that's it. That's what you get.
What's we talked about the best trait that we like for receivers. What's a trait that you guys think is like something you don't really care about as much, or it's not as important for a receiver?
I gotta think on that one. Something that's not important.
I mean,
or the least important, maybe.
It's gonna sound silly. But like, I think speed is like a little bit overrated. Like especially the straight line 40 speed. We see a lot of these really, really fast wide receivers make it to the league and typically don't produce. So I think it's one of the things that's.
I like that, Garret. I think I'll roll with you on that one.
You're with me on that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say too, is because it's not your speed; it's how you use your speed.
Look at Keenan Allen, man.
Yep.
Yeah, how you create separation. But I do want to go with an underrated skill. So something that'll get you on the field is blocking. I mean, it's just like basketball. Everyone can shoot and score, but who can play defense? So that's who's going to get on the court, right? So same thing with the wide receiver position. Who can block? So that's your edge.
Yeah.
Who do you think was the best blocking receiver you ever saw in the league?
In the league, man, actually Julio's a beast, man.
I was going Hines Ward too, Jared.
Yeah,
but you're right. Julio is really good at that as well.
He's convert him to linebacker if you want to, man.
And he's so humble. He doesn't say anything. He just gets it done. Like that makes it almost more
even better
scary because you're like, man, what's going on in his head right now? He's just gonna tear your head off.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Sam Wallace is asking, Vic, what D3 school did you play at?
DePaul, so PAUW. So that's in Greencastle, Indiana, Division III. Yeah.
Sweet.
Now, I actually almost ended up playing football in Indiana as opposed to playing at Malone. I was really, really close to going to Taylor University.
Okay. Yeah, I got recruited by him.
Yep, I almost went to Taylor, and then last minute, Malone was like, well, actually, we'll offer you this. I was like, oh, a little more. Okay. And I ended up going more.
Nice.
So, Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 11 overall player in the 2018 recruiting cycle. 5-star prospect, obviously. This dude's dad was one of the most successful bodybuilders of the 1980s. He's a 3-time Mr. World, 2-time Mr. Universe, John Brown. And so this guy's been working out since he was 7 years old, I think I read. And he was bench pressing 135 at the age of 8. That's insane. That's crazy.
Dude, I remember kids on my freshman football team. Literally, we had one kid we put, 135 on, and he literally dropped it on his face and almost broke his nose.
Oh, man. That sounds like me in like 7th grade.
Yeah. So this kid's doing, at age 8 what other kids couldn't do at age 15.
Right. So he's got a brother in the league. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Nick, you probably know. Equinemius.
Yeah, Equinemius St. Brown.
Equinemius
And
St. Brown.
Osiris is his other
6th
brother.
round draft pick by the Packers in 2018. And then, his other older brother plays for Stanford. He's a senior now. Osiris, who Nick was actually high on. So, good bloodline of athletes, obviously. In 2 years at USC, he started 17 games. He has over 1,700 yards receiving and 9 touchdowns. So, very productive player, obviously living up to that 5-star rating.
Was he at Mater Dei? Is that right, Jared?
I'm not sure. I
thought he
didn't
was.
write that down.
Because
He played with JT Daniels in high school.
Right, yeah, that's his quarterback who's now
Okay.
gone in at Georgia, going to battle Jamie Newman, who we just watched for Sage. Yep.
Gotcha. So PFF projected him going number 32 next year to the Chiefs. Obviously, in a way too early mock draft, but interesting. Another guy that people are highly regarding for the
Because that offense
2021 class.
needs more talent.
Yeah, and I was reading an article. They were saying that St. Brown is not opting out. He was playing for sure, but obviously the Pac-12 canceled their season, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does if they do end up playing a spring football season, and the NFL doesn't move back their draft. It's going to be interesting to see what all these guys do.
Yeah, and that's going to take so much more scouting, and that's for NFL, that's for like the draft, that's also for fantasy,
Definitely.
everything. I mean, it's going to be, what we do with this, and not just us, but like everyone, but like this is going to be so much more important because the analytics guys aren't going to have as much.
I guess he played most of last year with a sports hernia, I read. I didn't know that until today.
Impressive.
Right? Let's get into it, though. Garrett, I think I got you up first here. Same order as
Garrett's
Surratt.
always first.
Well,
yeah, and we got a
yes.
shitty. It was like 360p for this tape.
Oof.
Luckily, there were only a couple. But Keaton Slavis, man. Is it Slovis or Slavis?
I've heard both. I honestly don't know.
Dude, he was dropping dimes.
Yeah.
Good player.
He was a good player. Dime.
Whew.
All right. That's how we're starting.
That's how we're starting, man. All right. So look at this kid. Look at this kid. He said, all right, I'm going to go 45-yard downfield, and between the corner and safety, I'm going to get lit up, and I'm still going to hold on to it. But, man, he's quick, and he's got some good wheels. And if you could run that, run it from right there. Go ahead and run it through the play. But notice how he widens it just a bit. Widens it just a bit to help bring that DB out, and then bends it back in a little bit to create that separation. And it was a small window between the safety and the DB there. Had he not widened that just a little bit,
It's that step.
yep, I don't think that he's able to make that play.
Yeah.
I'll note on this. Sorry, Vic. I'll
No,
just
go
note
ahead.
on this next view, if you can play it through, Jared.
Sorry. Here we go.
Watch the quarterback got him murdered because he's staring him down. The safety doesn't move out of the middle.
Yeah, he
I mean,
did.
it's so easy for the safety. If he looks to the right a little bit, easy touchdown, but get your wide receiver whacked.
But to that point, Amon helped himself out by widening out that DB. So it created some space for that safety. So safety had to travel a little bit.
Yep. 100%.
Yep, and he does a lot of good little things like that.
Look at his stance.
He's always like that.
Yeah.
I was literally about to talk about that. Now, it's actually kind of weird because at times it almost adds a little hitch, I think, to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was watching it on a couple of the plays, and It's almost like he's got to come back up out of it. Whereas a lot of guys, you see the opposite. They kind of have to go down. He's having to like come up out of it. It's interesting.
He's very quick.
Oh, he's very, very quick.
He's definitely a slot guy, the next level.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So overall, it's a pretty simple slot route. Coming inside there. My one thing with this was he really never even, and I get it's a speed route, but he didn't burst out of it the way that I see him burst out of some other plays. I never thought that he was going to go downfield. It was kind of right away out, and I get it's a quick timing thing, but he just seemed a little bit slower off the ball than I saw with some of his other routes. And part of this is he had really good tape. I had to be pretty nitpicky. This was one of those things.
Shooting in the chat says he stands with his opposite feet than what is traditionally taught.
So on this one he does, but I think he knows where he's going to go. Because if he had it the other way, it would take him 3 steps to get inside, and this way it takes him 2 steps to get inside. I think that's by design because he sees this linebacker kind of coming up. I don't know what you would call this route, Vic. I call it a lookie. Is that kind of what you have to call it?
Yeah, that's what Short is running.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, enough of the slant.
Out route scores.
Yeah, and this is the same way. Like it's a 3-step out versus if he had his feet switched. So it really kind of depends. I prefer to have my receivers with their feet the other way, like how Shootin was saying. But it kind of depends on your route and what you're going to do too.
Yeah. So overall with this play, this was a great one to just highlight his speed, his awareness, and like. If he would have kept coming straight down the line there after the catch, he might be tackled short there. The fact that he widened back, which I don't know that I would teach that necessarily, but his awareness to know who he is. He knows he's quick. He knows he's faster than the guy on him. To be able to bend back to be able to then get the angle for the end zone just shows really good awareness on his part, I think.
Yep.
Someone asked, do we only do USC film? I'm not sure what that means.
Have we done a lot of USC?
No. I can't remember the last USC player we did.
I know we did Michael Pittman at one point.
And that was like hard to find.
Have they been on defense a lot maybe? I don't know.
I like how Slavis kind of throws him back here. Brings him back a bit. Opposite hash, out route, throw.
That's a throw. But I mean, coming back to the ball there, it reduces interception chances or it getting, knocked down because you're limiting the space for the DB to undercut that. So, yeah, I like it.
Got him in the slot here. Jet sweep.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, he just moves in a phone booth.
So here's what was really encouraging for me is look at his eyes are always downfield. And so he just has a really good feel for where everything's at, where everybody's at, because it looks like he's not even looking at these guys that are around him. He already knows he's past them. And so his vision and his awareness to be able to follow the blocks, I was really impressed with how he looked in the open field. And I'll be honest, like coming into watching this, I actually wasn't the biggest St. Brown fan, but as I dug in more, I actually became a bigger fan of Amon-Ra.
He also shows some patience too, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. To quote Vic from, sorry, go ahead, Garrett.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
To quote Vic from earlier, the one thing that pops off the screen here is confidence. When you line up and you know about that receiver, he always exudes like this confidence. Over here, this is confident. I'm confident in my ability. I'm going to get through this guy. Oh, I'm going to get through that. You guys don't matter. Like that's a different way of playing versus I'm really scared. Sage Surratt. I hope I break this tackle. You're not going to get through it then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sage would have ran out of bounds probably. Getting squeezed. So.
Oh, he missed the stiff arm. He's tackled.
We're haters.
refuses to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the other thing. He is not as big as some of the other wide receivers that we've covered. He doesn't have the size, doesn't have the girth, but he plays much bigger and much more physical than his size would suggest.
I guarantee he's strong as hell.
Well, yeah, absolutely. With his
His
pedigree,
genetics, yeah.
He only benches 135, I heard. So
that's what I heard.
I guarantee he's strong as shit.
Yeah, so I walked away very, very impressed with him as a player. Very explosive, very quick twitch. Seems to be pretty heady. I had a hard time finding a lot of negatives on him while I was watching through the two games. So I wanted to be more critical, but at least in the two games that I picked, there was a lot of really positive things to see out of him.
How about the movement in the pocket here, Nick?
yeah, I know. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, dipping his shoulder.
I
this
know,
is sexy.
man.
This is straight
Sexy.
sexy for a quarterback. Delivering that.
Dude, he's good. I can't wait to. I'm just gonna dig in and watch all of his games.
Do it.
Don't watch too much USC, man. People.
I know Brad will get pissed. Damn, dude. He just makes people look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it look so easy though too, like it's so effortless. Is this still you, Garrett?
No, this is either Nick or Vic.
Yeah, this is me, I think.
Yeah,
This is, I mean, it's a tunnel screen, you know what I mean? But it's such a natural feel. And then this defender, he didn't get blocked. Okay, I'm by him. Like, it's very natural for him to, make extra yardage. He doesn't look like he's worried.
That move right there.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and even that one right there, delivered a stiff arm and got another 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you run it back to the other angle, he even sets it up. So he catches it, runs inside that lineman. Now I'm going to go outside.
Yep. I mean, if that receiver makes that block, he's got a chance to score.
He does.
It's all about that blocking, Vic. We already talked about that.
That's your clear path to get on the field.
Is that Pittman's fault? Yeah, that's
Pittman.
Pittman 6.
Dang it.
Come on,
Dang
Pittman.
it, Michael.
Michael.
Look at him.
I love the opposite hash out routes, man.
Yeah. Takes an arm. Can you go back to the first view on that one?
Yep.
So, I mean, here he knows where he has to go, and here his feet are different. So back to shooting there. I mean, that just shows you a little bit. But
Cover
I mean,
zero.
here he's doing an out, but you don't know it right away. He still gives the appearance he's going to go vertical right away. And then here, even if he doesn't stick this and get in bounds and continue with a huge play, he at least tried it. I
Yeah.
love my receivers with the mentality that want more yardage.
Well, he probably knew if he beats him, it might be 6. He's
Yeah.
no safety help.
It's just a good route to start with. Came off vertical and that came back to the football again that we've seen before. He's just such a fundamentally sound football player.
Phil said I think he looks a lot like Van Jefferson. There's a Nick
Oh,
Rams comp.
Thank you, Phil.
Phil's got a cool project he's working on. Him and Vern, they're trying to put a team together to evaluate offensive lines and start doing offensive line grades.
Huge.
Phil played O-line.
Yeah, that'd be huge. I hope he's able to do that because I think that could be a really good thing for us.
For sure. Dive.
Yeah.
That was
So, I mean, this
nice
is
throw.
honestly a better ball than anything else.
Still.
The two things I wanted to note were how he avoids number 4 right there. That doesn't get hung up, getting rerouted, which was huge. And then his speed. I mean, he made it happen afterwards. So right there, that's small. He puts the arm out there, arm over, gets through, gets to his aiming point, and doesn't look till right there.
So,
We
yeah.
got some Three Stooges stuff there.
Yeah, made him kiss. But I definitely like his toughness. I mean, that's a play right there. The ball's coming. I mean, potentially the safety can come down and take your head off, but he was still willing to make the play. So
There's no sign of worry or anything about a hit.
I mean, you can't be that way. You have to make that catch no matter what.
Better tell Judy that.
for Jerry.
It's a playmaker.
Yep. Slovis getting hit, putting it back. Sorry. This is
this is the route that I love the most. I think it's just unguardable. Is the slot fade? You just can't. He sticks inside. DB doesn't believe it, but
Back shoulder.
his body control here.
Yeah.
This is what Sage should have done. Remember, I said he should have squared his shoulders back and high pointed. And here's a smaller receiver just getting it done.
No upside down raptor arms, right?
I'll remember that one.
You gotta go get it.
Dude, that's funny.
You gotta go get it.
So I know this is like basic, but this is just understanding defense. I mean, if you watch when he's lined up right here, he's like, okay, I know where I got to go. Let's see how this works out. And then he just slowly evolves and, okay, nope, I'm going to under there. Boom. Like,
yeah.
he's just advanced. Like that, like he would know where to run to start that route. But he's like, okay, this might happen. And then it does. And then he finds a way to get it through. I mean, there's two guys there.
Mm-hmm.
The zone blitz.
He is 6'1", I think. Yeah, 6'1", 195. Someone in the chat asked what his
taller
size
than
is.
I would have. It's taller than I would have expected.
Yeah, we'll see what he actually measures.
Yeah, I don't think he's that tall.
I don't think so either.
I'd
I
say
was guessing
5'11".
more of a 5'11", 6 foot, which is still fine.
Yeah. Good route.
Yep.
Good
I mean,
hands.
this is just, I just highlighted these because this is just where he's going to make his living.
Yep.
He's going to run precise routes, middle of the field, from the slot. This is his role in the NFL.
Slovis put that on the spot despite getting smacked.
Yeah. And I know J-Wack asked earlier, like comps and stuff like that. I mean, to me, his upside, his best is Robert Woods. That's the best you're looking for.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
my comp.
yeah.
Oh.
Vic sent me his cuts, and that's what his comp was.
There you go. I know that's the same school, but that's what
By
I
the
see.
way, Vic was much more detailed than you guys in his cut-ups to me.
Hey, Vic, stop making us look bad.
Yeah, show off.
Trying not to, man. My bad. But he's definitely a quicker, shiftier Robert Woods. Especially, he gets the carries too. So plays just like him.
Yeah,
Nope,
but
you're right.
look at Slovis delivering this.
He gets that helmet right under the chin strap.
That's the worst. And then all their weight falls on you. That's the worst. Dude.
I gave a guy a concussion doing that.
He's hurt. He's rolling around. That's the worst, man. That's a flag in the NFL.
Another quarterback in here now.
It's a different quarterback.
Oh yeah.
They added a 1 to that jersey. Not a 9, not a 19.
It's John David Booty. He's back.
He makes a hell of a play.
I just thought of John David Booty. That's awesome.
John David
You
Booty.
guys are thinking of older players? What is this? Garrett, I'm shocked.
Okay, at least he was in the 2000s. Normally Nick's in here with like, hey, do you remember this guy from the 1984 Detroit Lions? He was their third string fullback. He was great.
Let's ask Vic. Vic, do you know Don Beebe?
No.
Gosh.
Thank you.
I retire. 35. Somehow I know all these guys, and you guys don't know them.
I thought you were 42.
I'm going to beat you up.
Nice catch here.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what I was going to highlight. Body control again. I did like the route, though, because he kind of had to find his way across through that mess a little bit. And then he
Slows
settles down.
Yep.
Look how quick he gets
Zone.
upfield after that.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys would have just fell to the ground right there.
Got a few extra yards.
He's always got a little attitude to him, too. I love it.
He's the younger brother, too. You see that a lot out of the younger brothers.
I guess
They get beat up a lot.
Yeah.
I read an article that he's always the last guy to leave the field every day practice. Those are the kind of things that you love to hear. Yeah. All right, John David Booty. Throw it up there. Bow.
I mean, I thought this was just a phenomenal route the whole way.
Just watch the quarterback, though.
Oh, I know.
Watch. Hey, he just
Said me and my
flings
high
it.
socks.
Boom.
And rolling to his right, throwing across his body.
Who is that? All right, who is it for real though? I know I'm calling him John David Boogie, but who is it?
I don't know. I'm gonna roll it and I'll Google it real quick.
So if we look at this route, right? He fakes inside right there, a great out, scrambles upfield. That's a designed out, in my opinion. That's not a designed out and up.
Matt Fink,
Catching traffic, man. Look at that catching traffic.
redshirt senior.
You got to go back to the other view there, J-Wack,
Okay.
the first one. So again, it's just a designed out. The out is there too. Like he stems inside to create separation on the out. It's not there. Scramble rules, goes up the field, is open, then comes back and high points the football and gets hit between two defenders. Like it's an unbelievable play. Open,
Great awareness.
come back, boom, catches the touchdown. That's insane.
Out and up, baby.
Yeah, I like him.
Yep, he's grown on me quite a bit.
Terrible
The
throw.
Chiefs would actually be a nice little landing spot for him, honestly.
The Chiefs.
All right.
Anybody for the Chiefs is a nice landing spot.
Yeah, so true. Such a dumb thing to say.
So this one's me. So of course, screen pass, and of course, you're only throwing screen passes to your playmakers, and he carries 3 guys there.
As a wide receiver, well, as a football player, this is like the worst way to get tackled is when they grab your legs, pick you up, and pile drive your ass to the ground.
Humiliating.
Yeah, I thought that little spin was a bit awkward, though. I mean, I could tell he was trying to create some space, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see what he was attempting to do. It didn't work, but you can see what he was attempting to do there.
That's illegal. You can't pile drive.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Good back in my day.
got him in the slot. Good route, good hands, plucks it. I like to see him turn upfield a little bit sooner, but all in all, still a good play. Securing it. Should have turned upfield at the hash.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like he didn't know what to do as soon as he caught it. He kind of got surprised.
Yeah, and it seems like he tries to fill the defense whenever he's over the middle. Like he kind of hesitates when he's over the middle, but when he's on the outside, it's he's free roam. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I noticed about him. He kind of just tries to fill the defense over the middle.
I mean, that right there's a
But
misread.
there's his lane right there.
Wouldn't you say that's a misread, Vic? I mean, this is zone. He should have settled down. And he ran into that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually that's
Definitely.
how they would have it built out. He would sit like
Yep.
right over the
Be a spot route.
little after the ball.
But you can tell he wants to get out the middle. That's just my impression.
Yep.
He's comfortable living on the outside. So, all right, this one here, man, great route. Wait, actually, I got this play. Look at my notes.
Did I grab the wrong one?
No, I think you got it. You got it. That's on me.
Okay.
Still a good route. He
That's
doesn't
a
need the
great
ball.
release.
That's a good
Inside, outside, inside. Like that DB's got no shot. Oh, I'm open. Oh, hanging on.
Yeah, I just like the physicality there. Just playing physical.
Yeah, good hand fighting. Throws him off him. Swim. Something Sage needs to work on for sure.
Yeah. So, of course, Amon's giving an effort to create some separation there, letting him know it's a fight. So,
Matt Fink, lowering the shoulder. I see you out there, 19.
Man, who is the QB in this group, huh?
Boom. I know, right? I keep freaking pointing out.
John
We need to do
David
a quarterback.
Boogie.
Quarterbacks. You keep
Wait a
saying
minute.
it. Nick
We've been
every
doing it
week's
yet.
like, let's do quarterbacks.
I try, man.
I think we're free next week. We'll do quarterbacks next week,
All right.
in theory.
just another easy completion. So,
Take it next week off.
But, like he doesn't even waste time. I like that too, Vic. You know what I mean? Like, it's like nope, that's open. I'm just gonna run now.
yep.
Yeah, he got one step up field.
Matt
Yeah,
Fink.
Quick.
I like his grit, too. He even pounds the ground. Like, he even saw the lane up there. So, he figured, he could have scored, but got tackled.
Matt Fink with the ball. Just kidding. Sorry. I'll chill out.
Pink.
All right, this one here, I just like how he's breaking tackles. So, he's refusing to go down. Always looking to create.
He's always looking to make a play. That's what I love about him. He's catching the ball and trying to do something after it.
And his eyes are always downfield. Like he is always trying to set up his next thing.
You know what's interesting about this is I'm always really cognizant because, I've coached DBs too, of alignment. Okay. So he's outside. He's close to almost, we called it tree when you would stack your other receiver there. I mean, he's most likely not going to run an out there. I was thinking he was making room to do an in again here, a slant or a one-step looky, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a screen. Now, does he read this and just sit outside and continue to run outside? Or does he get lucky? Because he doesn't run into where everyone's at if you watch this and play this through. Because the linebacker's inside. Does he just, because you would catch it normally run underneath your blockers. But he just goes outside of it all.
Yeah, I don't know how it was supposed to be designed or how it was designed, really.
Yeah.
You could have easily set up a lane to the sideline. I'm trying to see what Pittman's doing there with his block.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it looked like he was pinning him to the sideline.
Sorry to take over. Just something interesting I saw.
This one here, a good block. Definitely sprung the running back. So,
yeah.
Stephen Carr. Man, talk about a Devy name from years ago. People were hyped about.
Just couldn't stay healthy, dude. Always getting hurt.
My boy Rojo getting it done. Now everyone's on that train.
Not everyone.
I'm on it now. Everyone. Finally,
his
year
ADP's
3, I'm on it.
Still low.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sold with any of them at this point.
But yeah, but that block right there, if you're willing to block, especially out of the slot, that's crucial, especially in the NFL.
Yeah.
I feel like the slot's a really tough spot to block from because you don't know which way to go sometimes.
That's how you get those explosive plays. 20-plus yarders. Did your teams, like after games, you guys used to track explosive plays and stuff like that?
Yeah, we scored it.
Do you always hate the grading the coaches did? They're like, oh man, I should have had a higher grade than that.
So going back to the big plays, I think anything over 25 yards, that's what we count as a big play.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, this was the route, so I actually jumped on this one. But great route here, man. Breaks out. Okay. Notre Dame game, man. So talking about fresh off the flight, man. 4-hour flight. This was early in the game. Rivalry game. So
can you go back real quick to that?
Yeah.
This is something a lot of people don't get.
Like the opposite hash throw again? Is that what you're talking about?
Man, look at that throw. Here. So if you're not playing on the field, okay, anybody, coaches, whatever, this is your job. You are hype guys. This is 100% your job. Your guy makes a bad play, you pick him up. The sideline has a role. People don't get that. This is your job.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah. Can you go back? I do want to call out the stutter. So he does a great job of creating that separation. Stutter's there, create some space, and then he's going to break out.
Well, even before he breaks out, though, he takes another jab in, doesn't he? Right after the stutter at the top of his route.
It's vertical.
And notice how he has to track the football after he breaks out.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, and that
breaks out, starts fading up.
Yep.
Way to track the football, way to go get it. So, yeah.
It's a great play.
It's a tough catch.
Phil, I don't think we have that play. My memory serves me right.
This one here, strong hands, refuses to go down. So I like the fight.
Always fighting.
So far, overall, we've been very complimentary. What is something that we think that he either lacks or he needs to get better in? Because so far we've been. This is about as nice as we've been to anybody.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he has elite athleticism, which is going to limit his ceiling. I think what he does is going to be inside. If you put him on the outside, he can win sometimes. I don't know if he's going to win all the time because he doesn't have the length and the physicality of those corners. But I think he still could maybe be okay out there. But I don't think he has wide receiver 1 ceiling for fantasy or even maybe an NFL team. He's going to be that complimentary guy, but he's going to be a good complimentary guy.
Good
Sure.
PPR guy.
Yeah, I agree. And also, he's more quick than fast. But you can do a lot of damage being quick in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
Very technical though, which I like to see at this, in college, because those are the things that definitely will translate.
Yeah. So this play here, I like his patience. So that definitely holds the DB, and then he runs underneath. So good hands again. I mean, the hands are there, so we're not going to talk about that. But
Look at him breaking tackles. He's a receiver. One.
He's strong.
yeah,
Setting the tone. I love it.
Get your Wheaties, boys.
Not a fan.
all right. I think this next one was a drop.
That's why you didn't go to Elon, Jared. Didn't eat your Wheaties, man.
It's true.
All right, this one here.
Slovis.
Good route, but he drops the ball.
He's so pissed.
It's a bad ball.
Look at what he does to the safety, though. He gets the safety to turn outside. Probably better with the other angle.
Mm-hmm.
Still needs to catch it though.
Stems him,
Oh yeah, he got him to turn his hips and everything.
gets him turned the wrong way. Definitely would like to see him come down with that, but
Yeah, definitely a
route.
bad
It's a tough
ball though.
catch.
yeah.
But you're right. He got his hands on it.
That's the rule.
I mean, that safety is in no man's land. They're bringing in 6. It doesn't get home.
He's licking his chops.
Yeah.
I think this one was another drop on the screen.
I love the way he tries to make a play though.
So Garrett, there go your negatives, man. I got some
There
negatives
it
in there
is.
for you.
There they were.
Yeah.
You go to drops.
I just didn't wait long enough.
So I guess he broke 18 tackles on 77 catches.
That seems conservative.
Yeah. Who knows?
All right.
No, it's probably true. I'm just.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Great
this one here.
awareness.
Yeah, good route, settle down in the hole. I would like to see him burst more after he catches the pass, but it seems like every time he's over the middle, he just kind of throttles down and doesn't really like to explode over the middle.
All right, Amon-Ra, run and go sit on that shamrock. I'm going to hit you. Okay. He's like almost right on it.
Got it.
He gets popped there.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That's weird. He doesn't explode out of his breaks because he's so explosive off the line. But sometimes that's a mentality too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a recurring theme over the middle for him. But if that was on the outside, I guarantee you would have showed more burst.
Yep.
Shooting has a nice point over here. Character concerns was something that he heard a little bit about. Now, I have not heard as much about that, so I don't know if any of you guys can speak to some of the off the field stuff that you might have heard about him.
Well, he's talking about his dad.
His
not
dad, yeah.
Amon-Ra.
Oh, okay.
His dad being like a LeVar Ball 2.0. And
Yep. And that is a concern. Sorry. Who's
I read an interview on it, and he did kind of come off that way. I mean, even just adding Saint onto his last name kind of
Sure.
just.
When you're Mr. Universe, I'm sure you have a little.
Oh
bit of
yeah, for sure. Walk around, shit don't stink.
Yeah, we might have read the same article, Jared, but yeah, that's a concern. That was a concern with Equinemius for sure because, I mean, he fell. I think is some in part to that. They just didn't want to deal with the ego and everything else. And then I think Equinemius didn't work as hard as he used to either. That was some of the concern. I don't think we have that with Amon-Ra. I think he's overall the most talented of the brothers, with his recruiting ranking too, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Dime.
All right, this
Yeah,
guy
it's
makes a play, man. One-handed catch.
One
Um,
hand.
Ball.
He's determined to score. He's not worried about the safety. So, yeah, these are all positives.
Yeah. So, man, that's a linebacker's fault. People that don't know at home, this is basically Tampa 2. So it's kind of a cover 3. Your middle linebacker is taking out anyone that takes that vertical. He just delayed. He didn't go right away.
Yep. Yeah, definitely love his toughness and grit, though. I mean, he's willing to score. So,
What a catch! What a
Yeah,
ball
catch.
too.
I think that's the photo, right, that you used from him? I think that's the image, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
nice
so.
catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't even fall either. There it
Yep,
is.
that's
there it
it.
is.
There it is. Yeah, I thought it looked familiar.
Yeah.
Good call.
Look at this. His thumb's underneath it too. So there's no way he can palm that, but he's still going to come down with that.
Yeah.
Nick analyzing it. Crazy.
Always, man.
Always.
Wait till the YouTube comments on it.
Nick's so negative.
Nick is definitely the most popular with the YouTube folk.
At least Vic's here. He keeps it real too.
Yeah, hey, I definitely got your back, man. I like to take on YouTubers.
Good. I'm glad you're here.
So,
I think that's the last one.
final thoughts on Amon-Ra. Projections. Kind of went over that a little bit, I guess, but we did comp. Robert Woods, I think, is a popular one. I like it, certainly. I could see back of the first round, to be honest. Second round, probably day 2, but I could see him sliding into the end of the first.
Yeah, I got him day 2 as well. Depending upon the team need, but if he sneaks into the back of the first, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's going to be especially tough for him with, chances are it looks like he won't get to play. And it'll be interesting to see what evaluators do with some of that, of a guy that they did get to see their most recent year versus a guy that they didn't. Is that going to be a tiebreaker? Is it, it's going to be hard to know how hard they worked in the, in the time where they didn't get to play games and stuff like that. So it'll be really interesting. I think the interviews are going to play a bigger part than even before. Some of the stuff that hopefully they'll get to do some sort of, Senior Bowl or some sort of all-star game or something for some of these guys, because it's going to be really interesting to see how evaluators choose to navigate these waters.
I mean, honestly, it's going to be tough because we've seen guys like this go in round 1. I mean, we've seen Anthony Gonzalez. You want to talk about your Colts, right? He was going to be that complimentary piece that's going to put a team over the top because you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to help an offense for sure. Is he going to help your fantasy team? That's a whole different conversation. Or if a team needs him to carry an offense, etc., he's not going to have the Justin Jefferson speed, which is, he's not going to run a 4.4, and that's going to be tough to justify being around 1. So really, a team's going to have to fall in love with him to go round 1. Otherwise, I think he's probably mid-second round. But I mean, the good thing is he's going to be dependable. He's going to be a guy that's going to be in the league for a long time. I mean, his worst case scenario is probably like a Jamison Crowder. You know what I mean? Where he's just going to be reliable and he's got suction cups for hands, even though he had a couple of drops, but he's going to be, where he's going to be all the time. He's going to help get first downs. Is he going to get huge plays? Probably not. But he'll be, break some tackles and convert third downs, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's good to see a slot receiver that refuses to go down. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge plus.
We did not. Sorry.
No, that's it.
We did not do anything about Sage, Jared. We just took that time for everyone to get to know Vic, including myself. So we could go around and talk about Sage a little bit too, in terms of overall comps, where he's going to go.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm actually curious, for what you guys' comp were. I actually threw a comp out there, but I'm actually reeling it back because I actually struggled with it. So, yeah, I mean, he's more of a possession guy. I mean, that's just what I see from him. I just don't see it translating well into the league. But he can make a roster for sure, but I don't think he's going to be a starter anytime soon.
No, I agree with you. If I own him in Devy, I'm selling him.
I mean, I just don't see him sticking around long enough because the thing that we always forget, the next – this guy is going to be great. We always have that mentality in Devy and rookies, etc. You have to be really good to stick in the NFL, to stick with the team and to go on. I mean, why is he going to be any different than Valdez Scantling, Alan Lazard? These guys are all better than Sage Surratt, and they're barely hanging on. You know what I mean? You keep going on with those guys that are fringe, maybe wide receiver 2s.
You just picked those two because they're on the same team as Ikenim St. Brown, huh?
Well, I'm busted. But he's not going to be Michael Gallup. He's not going to be a guy that's going to burst on the scene. I know we argued about JJ right last time. He's more talented than Sage is, and he's a second round guy. So the ceiling's not there. The floor is. I don't see him as a special teamer. So he might be like a 6th, 7th round pick and struggling to stay with a team.
Yeah.
I think he'll go a little bit higher on that, especially because it looks like he will get the opportunity to be able to play this year. But I think best case scenario for me right now is 3rd round. So I'm thinking that's probably where I'm seeing him. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's 4th or 5th though.
I got him day 3. I wouldn't even be surprised undrafted, get an invite to camp.
Woo!
I mean, that's just what
You're
I'm saying.
You're going cold.
I'm glad Vic's here. Yes.
I'm going cold.
Vic, do you play Devy?
Actually, I just started getting into it, so I'm in a Campus to Canton draft now. So I have a couple of Devy leagues.
I'm on the clock right now in the Campus to Canton draft in Garrett's league. We were talking about it last episode. It's crazy, man. We got weekly recruiting points, and
it's this crazy concept.
It's like NCAA football, kind of Campus to Canton spin of NCAA football, the video game.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting hooked with Devy, man. I told Doc a couple weeks ago we might need to change our names to the Devy Bros, man. Like, you're getting reeled in.
No, just keep it Dynasty, because then you can encompass like everything.
Dynasty Devy fits nicely inside of Dynasty.
It does.
Yeah.
Phil over here says Sage is Mac Hollins. LOL JK. I liked Mac Hollins way better than Sage Surratt.
That's a good, you know what, with that call, because I was struggling. I was like, man, who does he look like? I looked up Devin Funchess. I looked up Braylon Edwards, and I actually looked at Mac Hollins. And for me, Mac Hollins is way more aggressive than Sage. So I can't even go with that one. But, I mean, that's a nice attempt. I actually check it out, but I had to reel that one back too.
Yeah. I mean, I actually really liked Mac Hollins at times because he was aggressive down the field. He's kind of a feel-good story too, a walk-on. You know what I mean? He kind of made it work at UNC. I just don't see Sage getting everything out of his ability. You know what I mean? And for a guy that's limited already, that's scary. You have to. I mean, Amon-Ra here gets everything out of his ability. That's the big difference. It's not that, he's more athletic, but he's not like huge. When you're big, you got to play big, and he doesn't.
Yeah, and Mac was on special teams making tackles too, so he definitely has that dog in him. So
yeah, that was awesome.
What was I gonna say? Shit. Next week, who do you guys want to do? Quarterbacks?
Let's appease you and Nick. Let's finally get some quarterbacks in here.
Nice,
dude. You guys want to do Howell and Howell and Slovis? Those are
we could, but we still haven't done the big names yet.
Everybody knows them.
Yeah, but people watch it.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, we got a question. That's what I was gonna say. It's Mikey. Any chance you guys would ever do film sessions on active NFL players, maybe focused on the rookie tape? For sure. That's something we were actually just discussing through our text this past week. Because obviously, if there's no college season, there's not going to be much tape to review. So I think that's something we're definitely going to get into a little bit this year. The show is going to be ever changing, So It'll be evolving. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to send them our way.
Yeah, I think a good start would be even some of these breakout candidates that people are talking about. So with these articles, let's put some tape up against it.
Yeah, for sure. And Vic's going to be a regular on the show. This was his first appearance. It was a good one. Hell of a job, man. Really happy to have you on and joining us. Good job, Garrett.
Hey, appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate the opportunity. So
yeah. So shout out your podcast again, so everybody knows where to find you.
Yeah. So Dynasty Bros FF. So we drop episodes every Wednesday. And then, of course, I do have some articles on the Dynasty Nerds website as well. So got a couple articles out there. I just did a buy, hold, flip article. And then I also did the Cam Newton to New England when that first broke. So, yeah, I'm always looking for article topics too. So, yeah, definitely hit me up, Chief Sosa FF on Twitter.
Sweet.
There you go.
Nick, Garrett, you guys working on anything you guys want to talk about?
I have one thing to say. Nothing I'm working on. Can we stop hype trains over a picture of one play of practice? It's training camp. You know what I mean? I know we're desperate for football.
Hey, Brian Edwards is a saint.
Oh my God! Settle down. Remember when we were hyping up Braxton Miller because of the East-West or whatever bowl game it was, and how he's making everybody miss. You don't have 5 minutes to do a release, man. But everyone was like, "Oh, look at how awesome he is." It doesn't translate. Let's watch some games before we're going to move people up around an ADP over a catch.
I love you.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's so true, though. It is so true. But hey, man, you gotta get those clicks, right?
Yeah, it's not about clicks; it's about accuracy, in my opinion. People don't do enough of that in the industry.
It's about value. Provide value. Mm-hmm. But that's a wrap, I think, for tonight, boys. Appreciate everybody joining. See you next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Maybe we will have on some quarterbacks. All right.
Fingers crossed for you, Jared. Fingers crossed for you.
Time for bed for me. See ya, boys.